Hi, everybody. It's Maddie with the Calming the Chaos Collective and Celebrations LLC, and happy Friday. It is in Arizona. The time is not going to change. So, if you are used to me showing up in Pacific Standard Time or Central Standard Time, my time doesn't change, and soon I'll be in a different time zone, and you will not. So, just be patient with me over the next couple weeks as I figure out the time zone thing. It completely blows my brain. So, welcome to Friday's Live. We're going to be talking a lot about today the holidays and what really happens to our brains and our anxiety when the holidays come. I absolutely love Christmas. I love Thanksgiving. I'm super excited to be going home to Texas this year. I don't usually go home during Thanksgiving, so that's super exciting for me. But all of the stuff, all of the commitments, all of the expectations sometimes just really create this chaos. And so, even for Thanksgiving, several weeks ago, I started getting questions about what are you doing Thanksgiving? What are you doing Thanksgiving? And from people that I love and I would love to spend all of my time with. But immediately I start this, okay, there's an expectation here, and can I meet it? And what is going, it's just this sense of trying to figure out how to give people what they need, and it really creates a lot of anxiety for us when we do that. And so today we're going to talk about 3 ways to decrease the anxiety and decrease the expectation of oh my gosh, I'm already stressed out and this is it, just that brain chaos that we do. So one of the things I would recommend is, and actually, I saw this post and someone sent it to me, and it said November is the month of no, because November, and I love that. I think the very first thing that I try to do, and I always recommend my clients do, is to just don't respond. Like if I am in a stressful place, if my week is even stressful, I try really hard to just say to people, you know what, I just can't can't tell you yes or no right now. I'll get back to you in a couple of days. And part of that process then, if my brain is really, really busy, I tend to just respond with yes. I just say, yeah, here, okay. Oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I can do that. And it's that automatic response of learned response over time that I need to be pleasing people, right? And so whenever I get more stressed, and we talk a lot about intentionality here, and whenever I get more stressed, that intentionality goes just down the tubes. And so I really try really hard to stop and say to myself, okay, how am I feeling about this? And if I can't make a decision, don't say yes. I actually spent a lot of years doing the exact opposite intentionally. So when somebody asked me to do something, I would say no. And then I would go back and go, oh, wait, yeah, I can do that. But so that's just a kind of a side comment on how you can handle things. But if somebody is asking you to commit to something, it's really, you need to stop and say, I'm not in a good space to make this decision. So I'll get back with you later. So that's one way, is just to not respond yet. And give yourself time to make a decision about whether that's the best thing for you and the best thing for your family in that moment. Another way, and we talk about this a lot in Calming the Chaos, is really helping your status quo stay status quo. So one of the things that I do during the holidays, I don't always do this perfectly because I'm not perfect, but I really try to jump up my self-care. Part of that process for me is reminding myself the purpose of the holidays. It is not parties. It is not pleasing people. It is not gift giving. It is not any of those things, but it's celebrating Jesus's birth. It's time with family. It's quality time with friends. It's this process of really focusing before the next year comes on what I love in my life and the things I'm grateful for in my life. And the most powerful thing of that all of that is Jesus's birth. So it's this ability to stop and remind myself of the reason. One of the things that most of us have, or a lot of us have in our house as decorations, is the nativity scene. And my nativity scene is right front and center, where I can lay my eyeballs on it all the time. And so that I can remember, oh yeah, that's where I am. And so getting back to the purpose and the beauty of the holidays is one of those things that I think is really super powerful. The third thing I think is just to really, seep yourself in traditions. Traditions are really good for our brains. They help us remember how much we love being a part of a community. Traditions really help us connect with our family and our roots. And so just seeping yourself in those traditions are a really great thing. Several years ago, we were just really struggling during holidays for different reasons. And so I pulled out, as when I was a kid, honestly, I hated it. But my mom used to every year make us do popcorn garlands for the tree. And I absolutely hated it. But of course, that's because I had to sit there and do it. Now, when we were dealing with this really crazy thing that I just didn't know what to do with, I pulled up the popcorn and I went back to a tradition that was rooted in my family and had so many beautiful memories around it. And put my son and I sat and did the popcorn and garlands to put on the tree. And the cool thing about that is that it forced us to stop, to be still, to talk about memories, to talk about all those things that make our brain really happy, and remember, one of the things we talk about is when we're fearful that amygdala lights up and the frontal lobe shuts down, and then we can't think through what we need. And so this process of remembering puts that frontal lobe back in gear and can really help us get where we need to be. So I think one of the things that I would really suggest you do is go back to your traditions. Plan those traditions in. If you're going to say yes to anything, say yes to the things that, I'm going to plan this tradition, and this is the tradition of our family, and then be in that moment and be present in that moment. So, I think one of the things that we've been talking about this week, and again, I talked about this in the beginning of the video, is really the expectations. And there is something that feels so like pressure to me when I feel like someone is expecting something from me that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to give. Here's the thing I want to remind you is that that's our brain talking. That's not the other person. And so this ability of ours to be able to go, oh my gosh, they're expecting something from me, means you're mind reading, means that you really need to stop and say, okay, is this about me or is this about them? And usually it's about us and our own expectations and perfectionism that we put on ourselves. So just think through the expectations as we go through the holidays, and we'll continue to talk about it. And I will see you guys next week. Okay? Thanks. Bye.